Let's turn the volume up just a little bit.
This is my commandment, that ye love one another, as I have loved you. Greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends.
As much time as I've spent trying to mitigate risk, and there were a lot of people that I kept out of my life, that I wanted in my life, but I didn't want to bring harm to them. Am I afraid of something? I should be, because bad things are coming my way. I can assure you of that. I'm not suicidal. I'm not suicidal. I'm not going to tell you what I did, because at this point, it still could endanger people, and I don't want to do that. It's really bad. Is this my last broadcast? Yeah, it probably will be. It probably will be. Something bad is about to happen? Yeah, something bad's about to happen. Am I in danger? Yeah, I'm in danger. I was always brave, but stupid. For that, I will pay.
These things I command you, that ye love one another. If the world hate you, ye know that it hated me before it hated you. If ye were of the world would love his own. But because ye are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you. Remember the word that I said unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord. If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you.
Okay, so here's his Instagram where he's listed as humility recipient. I think that this was changed posthumously. This is the sort of thing I was presented with by my attackers, the idea that I need to be humble and that I was lucky to be alive. The only way of saving my life would be to become as humble as possible. Okay, so in his letter he says, "It should be noted that I have recently been made to believe that I am the reincarnation of Judas Iscariot, the great betrayer. To be clear, I was so arrogant that I did not see the darkness within," whatever. Okay, so this has been added, unless this was there before, which would be really strange. This has been added to his IMDb, which the artist is supposed to control, or his representatives. His IMDb listing says that his nickname is Judas Iscariot. Did you know, despite being restrained by two teenagers, Kappy forced himself off the Trans-Western Road Bridge onto Interstate 40, where he was struck and killed by a pickup truck. Kappy was being investigated by the Los Angeles Police Department for threatening to two celebrities. This is the listing about his death on our conspiracy. You can see the Dead Man Switch thing. The video is the first topic, although the video itself keeps getting removed. The person who originally posted this has been removed. Originally posted this link to the, what was there was the link to the bathhouse video. So that came up early on. Some believe because it actually did come out of his Twitter account right after he was reported dead. People are getting suspended for putting that video up. And someone tried to put this forward as though it was his website. That's what I'm going to show you. gffg.info. There's this countdown for when the end times are going to come, and there's going to be some nuclear weapons, supposedly. Apparently it corresponds with July 4th, I think. Yep, July 4th, which is what Kappy said at the end of this letter, supposedly. July 4th, 2019. Return of the King, return to the light. Now, was he writing that because he intended to stay alive until the 4th, and he just ended up killing himself earlier than he intended? Or did he write that date because something else was being predicted there? It's interesting, he says, I've been made to believe that I'm the reincarnation of Judas Iscariot, the great betrayer, as though someone has shoved that idea down his throat. See, when I first heard about Isaac Kappy, I didn't know what to think of him, and someone wrote to me about it and said, this is something else. But they also, at the same time, on the same day, wrote to me. Here they are noting that Kappy's original email when he came out the first time with this story about Seth Green was PLVSVLTRA17 at protonmail.com. Q is the 17th letter of the alphabet, which is presumably the reason why 17 is used there, plus ultra. This harkens back to a very obscure post that was made early on in the QAnon phenomenon. That was the only time, as far as I'm aware, that someone made a post, and it was after I had already started bringing back the name plus ultra in regards to, I had used it as for a podcast that I did when in 2005, started bringing it back in 2016. Shortly after that, somebody made a post on 4chan claiming that President Trump was a member of a secret society called Plus Ultra. I got this is someone commenting on Vegan Mikey's post. Vegan Mikey had for several weeks now just been complaining about people sabotaging his jobs, sabotaging his hotel rooms where he was staying, so he would get kicked out of the hotel room and have to move on some other place. That's all he's been talking about for the last couple of weeks, really, on Twitter. And here he is saying, responding to Isaac Kappy's death, "You will pay for what you did to my friend. He led by bringing light. I will lead by bringing thunder. You evil fucks just stole one of the purest souls God ever made. My heart is with you, Kappy. I will be with you soon. Their tactics don't work. This doesn't give fear, it's rage." Well, so a lot of people responded differently in different ways, but this one woman in particular, and there were several of them that you could tell are trolls. So here, this woman, QCOM71 at DRock 33 star, 33K star, specifically pretending to be on his side, but then making statements that are insulting and specifically an attempt to try to make him feel guilty. I'm so pissed off you're wearing the blood of Isaac on your hands. Why would that be? She doesn't explain, and she made another trolling comment earlier on the same thread. Let's see if I have that one. I'm so pissed off you're wearing the blood of Isaac on your hands. This is what she said at 2:55 on that day earlier. So what, you are saying that you love him more than any of us? You are so selfish. So she criticizes him for being selfish. Then she also tries to blame the death on him. She criticizes him for being selfish, for saying, basically words of love towards Isaac and sadness about his death and wanting revenge. He also spelled the word soul, S-O-L-E-S, souls, one of the purest souls or whatever he said. So several people jumped on and started making fun of him for misspelling that word. This person did also, and this is what they posted as they were making fun of him. I clicked on this and several of the other profiles of the people who were making fun of him for misspelling this word, and they were all like obvious political troll accounts. And then one of those was this guy whose handle was The Art of Guilt. The Art of Guilt, guy or girl. The Art of Guilt. Which that's what they've come in to do here, spread guilt trolling on this post about Isaac Kappy. They started their account that day, May 15th. So, after the Isaac Kappy thing had already happened. And that's the only thing mostly that they've posted about. Is guilt one of those secret luxuries of self-pity that we like to sometimes withdraw to in order to escape the truth, like going to the den to escape the living room? Tonight it is saying, I'm trying to purge. I expect from the lump in my throat and not in my gut it won't be easy. After we hurt someone, how long are we to carry the guilt? Guilt is one of those things we can't live with or without. He's only following 13 people. He has 1 follower and 25 tweets. He just started. He's from Canada, supposedly. I mean, as far as I can tell, he just exists to make trolling comments ever since Isaac Kappy died on that Isaac Kappy subject. This is from September of last year, but you'll see why it's relevant in a minute. This is some sort of passive-aggressive way of addressing the Kappy situation, and I think he had just maybe gone on the Alex Jones show. So the author there at Crazy Days and Nights is addressing it, but in an indirect way, like I said, passive-aggressive. And referring to Kappy, as you will see, referring to him with this nickname, Dancing Boy. Dancing Boy, keep that in mind. Not anything but a heads up in case you missed it, but since he's very probably going to be a dancing boy in the saga, there is a revelation about a certain former child actor on a videotape podcast based on comics. Not that I didn't think it already, or anything. Dancing Boy. That seemed like a really specific term, and I had already seen something about dancing chickens before. This is what MacAuley Culkin chose to say on his Twitter on the day that Isaac Kappy died. Seth Green didn't address it. This is MacAuley Culkin. National Dance Like a Chicken Day. Today is National Dance Like a Chicken Day, but I'm not sure chickens know what music is. I'm going to start a non-profit to teach music to chickens. What should I call it? Guitarred and Feathered. Someone posted this. That was someone's suggestion, and another person posted a reply. Guitarred and Feathered, Every Time I Die is this band, and the Guitarred and Feathered seems to be the band. Every Time I Die is the song. You can see there's snakes and chickens combined, implying the cockatrice, which interestingly enough was something that came up between me and Isaac Kappy when he was talking to me about a piercing and arresting stare that Seth Green gave him when he broached the subject of chickens specifically. I want to talk to you about chickens. Chickens being the name for child sex slaves, specifically male ones usually, but I think it's possibly a broader term at this point. Chickens. And so I said, I compared what he was talking about, which I was quite familiar with, and just been dealing with it recently myself. This evil eye, but it's more like a mesmerizing eye that can make you freeze, basically, like Medusa. And I likened it to the arresting stare of the cockatrice, which is a mythological creature that does have a gaze that has that effect on people in the legend. And it's a chicken that has snake-like attributes also. Kind of like Abraxas, also has those features. National Dance Like a Chicken Day. So what does dancing boy mean then? Dancing chicken means dancing boy. So what does dancing boy mean specifically? Dancing boys. Dancing boys, it's called Bacha Bazi in Afghanistan, meaning boy play in Dari. Bakek, boy. And then Bazi, I guess, means play. And yeah, you were just seeing them. That's one of them wearing this outfit here. Guesses that's another one right there. Sex slaves. Slang term in Afghanistan for a wide variety of activities involving sexual relations between older men and younger adolescent men or boys. Force and coercion are common. It may include, to some extent, sexual slavery and child prostitution. What do you mean, to some extent? Security officials state that they are unable to end such practices because many of the men involved in Bacha Bazi related activities are powerful and well-armed warlords. In December 2010, a cable made public by WikiLeaks revealed that foreign contractors from Dyncorp had spent money on Bacha Bazi in northern Afghanistan. That's what Dancing Boy means. That's what the blind item person was calling Isaac Kappy. And that's also, in a less direct way, what MacAuley Culkin was calling him on the day that he died.
All right, so I'm going to pause that and I'll read it out loud, Jim.
Yeah.
So, Kappy reported electronic harassment similar to that which I experienced last summer. I being Tracy, folks. This is Tracy. I'm quoting Tracy Twyman here. Kappy reported electronic harassment similar to that which I experienced last summer and which my attackers even publicly confessed to. This involved serving me fake doctored internet content tailored which messages specific... I messed it up.
I messed it up with messages specific just for me is what I should have said.
I see. With messages specific just for me, achieved without the knowledge of the owners of the website in question, including Facebook, YouTube, etc. Like we were talking about earlier, spoofing an identical page tailored just for the person receiving it. So, yeah, go ahead. Let's just roll this.
I think I left that title on without sound just long enough for a person to read it, so it might...
No man than this, that a man laid down his life for his friends.
That's the beginning of the...
I've spent trying to...
We're back to the beginning here, or did
We were almost at the end there, I think.
Oh, did I jump back?
we
I'm
must have
sorry.
bumped the mouse. It's all right. We can find it.
There we go.
I think
Oops.
we might be even, well, I don't know. Actually, play this stuff at the end, because this is good. If people have not seen this stuff yet, it's pretty good.
The first comment was from the Illuminati Facebook, which I thought was kind of hokey at first. And then I went to their page and looked at other comments. I was like, these seem very, very tailored specifically towards me.
That's the first letter I sent to them to say I had a dead man switch. Why would I do that?
I've had people that have actually seen the blackmail material for a lot of really big people.
Well, we know you can't trust the cops, okay? We know you can't trust the cops.
Aren't you concerned for my life? Yeah.
So, I gave them the thing that said I had a dead man switch. What does that do? It means they can't kill me, okay? Which is good, because I like to stay alive. To give myself time to save myself, to insulate me. A dead man switch is, basically, it's like, if you die, then, like, stuff happens, okay? Like, information goes out.
Is he wearing a dress?
No, it just looks like he cut the collar off of his shirt.
Okay, so I'll read this aloud too. Kappy apparently released a video when he died showing young girls wearing bikinis in a Turkish bathhouse pouring water from ancient-looking water jugs onto a stone circle featuring a strange geometric shape. He alluded to the video in a recording he made a week before his death and said it was recorded in Epstein's temple. And we did cover that earlier in the show. I've seen some similar comparison on Twitter to the Mayan altar. There's a pretty obvious altar. So, is there a little bit more here, Tracy? I guess there's all.
Well, there's the Go ahead and play it because there's the part where he mentions Epstein's the video that taken in Epstein's temple, and this is not from the last video he did. The second to last video. It's buried in the middle of a 20-minute rap, extemporaneous rap about Epstein.
Okay.
So I snipped it out, so you wouldn't have to watch the whole thing. But I put this title, these words on there long enough for a person to read them.
Right. So
And at the end of that, you'll see more Kappy.
Harbinger of bad news. But people took devices into the temple, you friggin' idiots. That's why we have everything. We have everything. It's true. And you know how we do.
Wow. Nice ending there, Tracy. Bravo.
Yes.
That is the passion of Isaac Kappy, and it's terrifying and even entertaining, because that's the era we're in, folks, where it's scary and funny at the same time, because you live in the disinformation age instead of the information age. So,
Wow. I want to set up a dead man switch so that if I oversleep, it will send an embarrassing picture of me when I was a little kid to somebody, so that I don't ever oversleep anymore.
I think they just call that a sleepy man switch. I'm really hoping that we don't need any dead men switches around here.
I guess a sleepy man switch would be fine.
Yeah. So for the record, folks, we are not investigating. We are only shit posting. We're finding shit posts and reposting them. We're posting our own. This is not an investigation. We're just shit posting. That's my disclaimer for all this scary stuff.
Okay.
Steve Outtrim. I saw you in the chat there, and I did take a glance about an hour before the show at the pinned tweet you described about all the witchy stuff having to do with the neighbors. I know there's some serious speculation going on about these women that were allegedly helping Isaac Kappy. I know there was screen captures of Instagram tying the Flowers girl to directly to Seth Green. And I really didn't catch the rest of it. We still do have the phones open right now. If somebody calls the number that I've had up on the screen, it'll just ring through and we'll be glad to talk to you. Of course, Steve, you're welcome anytime. I can put the number back up there if you go back to the YouTube.
To hear.
And I want to say to Steve, I'll be sending him an email soon. I got some things to say to him, following up on some stuff.
Awesome. And here I'll, there we go. Get to that right there. Here's Harrison calling back. Harrison, you're on the line with Picture Show.
Hi, it's Steve Outtrim.
Oh, it's Steve. Oh, wow, it popped up a different name. Sorry about that, Steve. Welcome to the show. How have you caught this whole thing we're doing, or did you just come in the last hour, or what?
Yeah, no, I've caught about the last hour or so. I've been out walking my dogs, so I haven't been able to call in until now. And then my wife is going to be home any moment, so I'm going to have to rush off when she gets there.
Certainly. If you want to break down
I just think that the latest thing happening today was that basically the identity of the landlady was revealed, and from her Facebook page is an enormous amount of witchcraft and devil-related content.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to see that. So, if you want to give details, Steve, I'll give the mic to you. And just if you have it off the top of your head, or if you have your Twitter in front of you, I'm all ears.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I'd actually when I saw the initial Periscope from Flower Girl, she seemed sort of legitimate and genuine and sincere. And then she had the tattoos around her fingers, which looked a little bit occulty for me. And, a couple of things she said, I got a bit of a funny vibe. And then she came back the next day with Shell, the landlady. And as they were talking, I was just like, my gut instinct, I just have a feeling that these are some witches. I was getting really quite a witchy vibe for them. And so for this to be to come out today is really no surprise. And I did a thread on witchcraft earlier in the week and people are used to the idea of witches putting a curse on someone. But that's by far the only means that a witch has to mess your life up. And one big part of witchcraft is binding. That if they cast a binding spell, they could keep you in a place where you're under their control. And Kappy seems to have been, kept in a bit of a gilded cage, a place where he didn't have to pay rent or clean up or anything like that, where he had this mommy figure looking after him who, as far as we know, is the last person to have seen him alive. Although there was somebody driving the car as well. I don't know if you guys heard about the Instagram video that went missing.
No. I didn't anyway.
Yeah, so everybody's probably seen or heard of the hour-and-a-half long Instagram that Kappy did standing next to his closet, but there was another video that he did after that that a number of people have caught, and apparently in that video somebody else was driving while Kappy was talking.
Wow.
Oh,
He heard from Flower Girl that he'd lost his license and he wasn't able to drive, so that's a strange part of the story, but just ripping quickly through this Twitter thread. I mean, she's posted a picture of Kappy's artwork with the Thunderbird, and she said, the phoenix rising, expect fireworks soon. This Thunderbird is our story. And she said, he's a brother to me now. We've each been through the Illuminati fire and lived to tell the tale. So, she's talking about the Illuminati and the Phoenix, and then we have our man on the ground for reporting on this is the Phoenix Enigma, who's the guy who's covered all the underground military bases and everything, where Kappy disappears next to the entrance to one of these deep underground military bases. So there's the Phoenix in the Facebook post, and then I sort of went further back through her post. She's got a picture of a raven on what they call a Christmas tree, but it's covered in occult symbols. I don't know if Tracy can maybe break that down, if she recognises any of the symbols on that Christmas tree. She's doing a prayer for El Chapo, which, I guess, but it seems like a bit of a strange choice. I think there's a lot of people in the world needing some prayer, and I'm not sure he's highest on the list. And then she's talking about witches. Johnny Depp and Celine Dion, they look like they're near death and starvation. They are witches. They all are wink, wink. So I don't know what that means, wink, wink. And she's talking about food and sex toys for the witches and eating children and, hungry witches, and Al Gore traveling with pints of blood. She talks about the city of angels is smouldering and a bunch of devils decided not to fund fire prevention. California's in serious need of goats and a bunch of goat Lucy worshippers cleared out of office. Angels are up to bat and the devils are on the run. I mean, we're all like interested in these esoteric subjects and probably post things on our Facebook from time to time, but this is just like really quite consistent that post after post after post is this theme of wickedness, the wicked are behind all of these events. At one point, she says, no more adrenochrome.
Wow.
Maybe she means that these evil people should immediately cease drinking it, but the way it's written, like no more adrenochrome, it's, it could be read in different ways. And
Yeah, like she's up short.
Go ahead.
Oh no, it's just that like you said, it can be read both ways. That you'd think it means stop using it, but it could also mean that she's out, that she needs some.
Yeah, there's no more adrenochrome. That's right. And then before she met Kappy, 15th of January 2017, I've watched enough Pizzagate videos to get the gist and learn the pedophile code words. Then last night I watched Pee Wee Herman's Big Vacation. I mean, okay, you watch Pizzagate videos. I've certainly watched a few of them, but do you watch them to learn the code words? That's kind of, I think, a very strange comment. And then also around that time, she's talking about Disney, although reportedly sad, profited quite a bit from the passing of Carrie Fisher. They assured everyone that her part of the next movie is already in the can, while able to cash in on the $50 million life insurance policy they took out on her just in case. I wonder how many other life insurance policies Disney is cashing in on these days.
Wow.
So you've got to wonder in the circumstances that she's there talking about $3 million and this is her adopted son, and prior to meeting Kappy is this. And then, there's talking about an interesting video about Aleister Crowley, and then she's talking about voodoo and witchcraft to get offence. And this is basically around the time that she seems to have taken Kappy in, which was August 2018. That's when she's talking about I have a need to steal babies and chickens for sacrifices on her Facebook. And the voodoo magic being used to build a fence. There was one more comment about a cage. I'll see if I can find that as well. But that's pretty unusual, don't you guys think?
That's crazy. Yes, I only caught just a little bit of it right before we started to set up for the show, and I can't thank you enough, Steve, for popping in. And I rolled through the thread, folks. You can find this on Twitter. It's the pinned tweet on Steve Outtrim's Twitter, and it's just like it sounds, Steve Outtrim, at Steve Outtrim, and I think, I really thought the Flowers girl seemed genuine and honest, and it seems like it's a perfect inversion once again. Like maybe these women are actually keeping and facilitating the process of Kappy to have been involved in playing a role in something like a really complex ritual murder.
Hey, can I jump in here for a minute?
To me, is a real sign, a coded message is Tom Hanks with his Instagram showing the glove and the cat with the P on it. You guys seen that?
Yes.
The what?
So, there's a bottle cap that says the letter P.
Kappy dies on historic Route 66, killed on the road, and he died at 42. And it says Cap P. So
Cap P.
How could, if they, let's say hypothetically there were black magicians that wanted to murder Isaac Kappy, how could they, signal that long in advance the time of his death and be confident that that was going to happen? Well, if they had him imprisoned by a coven of witches, ready to take him at any time, that's what could happen.
Paging Dr. Herman.
You mentioned the binding rite and how you would keep someone basically under a spell of binding. And that just makes me think of the binding of Isaac from the Bible.
Right.
Isn't that what it's called? I mean, so...
Yeah.
And then of course in the Bible, it's Isaac is a decoy. Basically, they end up they bring in someone else to actually pay the price. So it's just it's rich with meaning. Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead, please.
No, that's a very interesting point. And there seems to be a lot of biblical terms coming up around this. I mean, I've heard Noah mentioned, the Archangel Michael, obviously the Judas Iscariot. I mean, one thing that seems very strange to me is how do you change somebody's IMDb page? I don't think it's like a Wikipedia where anyone can just go in and edit it. But would Kappy have had control to edit his own page? He may have put that Judas Iscariot on, but if he didn't, then whoever did that, it seems to me like that was Hollywood sending a message, right?
Absolutely, and just to throw this out there, someone who commented here in the chat for this show that we're on right now also commented on my Isaac Kappy video that I just put out right before we aired. So I put this on my own YouTube channel. This very same person was the first person to comment on the Isaac Kappy video when it came out just a couple hours ago, and they claimed to be the person that changed Isaac Kappy's IMDb page and said it was a joke and then that they changed it back later. That's the person named MM.
Okay. MM.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Like Master Mason.
Maybe I'd love to hear this story.
Yeah, maybe they could back it up with something. Because, I have an IMDb page, and I was the one that I had to, provide some documentation to be able to update it. Someone had put it up from some show that I was on, years ago, and so it was there. And then I thought, okay, well, maybe I can add some biographical material to it. And I had to, go through a whole process in order to be allowed to do that. So, the artist or someone representing them is supposed to be the one changing the details of the page. They can put one up for you if you didn't already have one, but he totally had one. What he didn't have, and someone has claimed that they took it down because of, they took it down recently, but as far as I can tell, that's not the case. I remember looking for his Wikipedia page months ago. He didn't have one. And I just figured, okay, that's them screwing with him, not letting him have a Wikipedia page. But So someone has claimed recently that they got taken down after he died, but as far as I can tell, that's not the case. But someone changed his IMDb page after he died to say his nickname is Judas Iscariot. It's insane.
Yeah, so I hope there's not a bigger story here of trying to bring in some end times prophecies or whatever.
There's something going on.
Steve, I think that you're onto something there because it's not just this case. It's easy for us to all be hyper-focused on this case, but I'm watching details on the Nexium case blowing up. We're seeing all kinds of hints that the slow walk, as they want to call it, with QAnon, Trump, and the whole changing of the, turning the tables on everyone. They kind of let them punch themselves out with the fake Russia hoax, and it looks like they're starting the process.
Rolling in the new age.
People are suiciding themselves or being suicided and or murdered, and it's all tied up right at this really is kind of like the capstone, Kappy, kind of a thing.
Burning down the church.
True, yeah.
Yeah, well, there was another suicide in New York, a WWE wrestler who killed herself 3 days after Kappy.
Just saw that, yeah.
Messler, huh?
Whoa.
Yeah, so, I mean, that was interesting. And apparently she had appeared on Smallville before, so maybe there's a connection there for Nexium.
Yes. That's incredible.
Wow.
Yeah, my mind is just blown that we're right.
Hey, I've got to go. Great talking to you. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks, Steve. Glad to have you. We'll be in touch.
Thank you, Steve.
Okay, see you later.
Steve Outtrim, ladies and gentlemen.
I can't believe that Tom Hanks, that Forrest Gump was signaling Kappy stuff.
Well, yeah, there's I want to see if I can get that picture up because I didn't notice the cap, but there's a bottle cap with the letter P on it or something. There's the weird glove.
The empty single gloves.
It says roadkill on Route 66. Yeah.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
it says, I hope not, with Hanks with an X.
That's how.
All this just makes me think about how I hate Tom Hanks anyway.
Me too.
I always hate
here,
him.
here. So let's just switch over here.
I only liked the Money Pit. That was kind of funny. Big was terrible.
Oh yeah,
I hated the volcano one.
Big's kind of pedo-y anyway.
Big is totally pedo-y. There's that chick that had sex with him, and he's, a
12 or
13-year-old boy trapped in a grown man's body.
8?
12, yeah.
So here
He's
we
totally
are
pedo-y.
perusing Tom Hanks.
Oh God, look at him.
Oh, wait,
Plus, he's of course. I can't forgive Tom Hanks for being, Robert Langdon. Fuck him.
Right.
I just hate him for that.
I don't remember which role that is.
It's
Angels and Da Vinci Code.
Oh, yeah.
So it's
Now that's an interesting post there. I know we're scrolling trying to find, but no symbology here, folks. Nothing to see here. That's certainly not the
I don't think it shows up on there.
crescent moon.
Ooh, I wonder if he calls himself Hanks because, like, it's the handkerchief code.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought.
wow.
Okay, so here's the picture. Let's see if we can make this bigger.
There's one of his many empty single glove or boot or shoe abandoned.
So is that a yellow leather glove, or is it like a hospital glove?
No, it's like a leather work glove.
Looks like a goatskin leather glove.
It probably
I've used those for welding before.
You're probably right, Jim.
They're really soft. They're goatskin.
Oh, and the cap is right in the shadow of his elbow, folks.
Oh, there's a cap in there.
There's a cap right in the shadow of his elbow, of the elbow of his
Can
what
we
would
zoom
be
in
his
on that?
left hand. Yeah, we can.
All right, you want me to
There's
do
a
it?
P on there. I'm gonna
Go
scream.
ahead.
Oh, that's what everybody keeps saying. I can do it with the hotkeys, Jim.
Oh, do it then.
All right, so
Yeah.
I'll have to adjust it. I'm gonna try and get zoomed in on the cap P here. See,
It's in his elbow.
I'm gonna make it real big, and then oh, that might have been too big. Let's see.
You just have to.
Now scroll down. Slowly. All right, let me see if I can make it bigger one more time here.
Roadkill? Hope not. Wow.
Guys, I'll be out in a minute. All right.
That really
Give me
does
5 more minutes.
look like a P.
It's got a P on it.
Is that
It fucking has a P.
a rock or a bottle cap?
It's a bottle cap. It says P. He's right.
Oh, I moved.
Holy freaking shit.
That's just crazy.
I don't even know what brand is that, you know?
It won't scroll left or right because Twitter's image function is kind of weird, you guys.
Make it bigger.
So let
Make
me-
it wider.
Oh, hey, that's a good
Or-
idea.
Snip it and then bring it up as an individual image.
Just make the window wider, and then it'll shrink it down in
Yeah,
there.
let me get this adjusted because now I've got it zoomed in so far.
I can't believe that.
Yeah, I don't know. Jim, you would have to. Do you know how the screen snipping works on this thing quick or not? Because on a PC I could do it real fast, but let me see if I can just zoom in this way because then it'll let me scroll. Get back. Oh no, I have to click on it. So here, we'll try again. See if it'll let me in there. Try one more time and get the cap P on the screen here.
Now scroll up a little bit so that it's, yeah, there you go. So it's in the middle as you're scrolling.
Right, that's what I want. Keep trying here. I can't believe this. I haven't looked at this. I just heard about it. I'm gonna go one little click at a time, and we're gonna see if we can get this bottle cap zoomed in as far as it'll go.
Do the switcheroo.
Oh yeah, I need to let folks see it with me here. Pardon me, folks. Sorry about that. Here we are. Here we are trying to zoom in on Tom Hanks' extremely strange photograph on Twitter, where he's talking about roadkill, and there's a picture of a leather glove that we know they definitely make those gloves out of goat skin, and this appears to be Oh, that might be the maximum it'll let us zoom. Let's try one more time. Come on, let us zoom a little farther there. Now that's the maximum it'll let us zoom right there, and I can't clip it on the. But that's definitely a bottle cap with the letter P, capital letter P, right on it.
Sometimes they make them out of kid skin.
Well, that's goat skin. Just
Yeah.
baby goat skin.
Yeah, a kid,
What the hell?
a goat.
Yeah, and if you guys don't know, Tom Hanks, the accusations against him are just horrible. They're maybe not as specific as some of the strange stuff you've heard about Spielberg, but I always think of Tom Hanks and Steven Spielberg side by side. It's like they always want to work together.
I saw a connection between. I think this was on a. What's his name? The computer guy. Quinn Michaels.
Okay.
I saw
Okay.
a Quinn Michaels video where he was saying that Tom Hanks's promotion company, the guy that the company that promotes his pictures here on Instagram, it's the same company that reps Lift the Veil and I think he said Defango, but I mean this was according to
Quinn Michaels.
Quinn Michaels.
Quinn Michaels.
Yeah. So I mean,
I remember this. He was saying that there was a PR company basically that was behind all of these YouTube stars.
Right.
And
I've seen a lot of stuff like
yeah.
that where Quinn's rolling through the Wikipedia pages and reading off dates and numbers and money amounts. Tracy, you started to interrupt there while we were still talking to you. Is there something you need to say?
Oh, just from my perspective, it seemed like we never did get to see the bottle cap because like our faces were floating over it.
Well, here, let me try.
They were coming in, but I don't know.
Go to scene 3.
Scene 3 here. Let me. Let's see. All right. Well, yeah, that's another way we could do it this way. All right. So I'm gonna try this one more time, because I definitely I want it to be seen. So let's see right there.
Well, that's your middle name.
It is my. Well, that's
It's your first middle
okay.
name, right?
It's my real name. Scene is what I call myself when I really screw up. So right now in my head, if I was being hard on myself, I'd say, for fuck's sake, get it together, Scene.
Now, don't be obscene.
I don't have a choice. That was my nickname when I was a kid. My grandmother actually called me Ob. That was my other nickname, Ob, short for obscene.
Well, we ain't seen nothing yet.
My grandmother's history is it's right in the similar alley of all this crap that we cover, and it's absolutely terrifying. I even said to my mother that we could write a book about it, and she agreed that she might do it. So maybe we'll get some juicy dirt on Sean's grandma someday. So, all right, Tracy, can you see that on the screen for you? You know, or that?
I mean, I don't.
You make it bigger.
Okay, there it goes. I had to see because I was on delay there. Yeah, I see it. I see the P. It's very faint, but if you have brightness control, turn up the brightness. Maybe turn up the contrast too. You can see it. There's a P.
Yeah, I mean, I if I could, I'd do that. If I was on my phone, I would have already zapped this into an editor and made it all super highlighted so people could see. I'm kind of half-assed with the Mac, and that's what we're using here. So I apologize, but I'll definitely pop this up. Well, I'll do that. I'll go crop this thing out and make it a big, beautiful bottle cap with a P on it, so that everyone can see plainly that Tom Hanks appears to be sending us all a message that has nothing to do with, well, what the hell would it mean anyway? Anyone, please.
Cappy, 66,
throw some crap against the wall of what this would mean if it's not a coded signal. You know, symbolism will be their downfall, is what they say. If you follow the QAnons in the posts, that's one of the things they say over and over again. Darkness to light, where we go, one we go all. Symbolism will be their downfall. These people are stupid, you know. If they've trained me up with some mantras just trying to follow their shit, there's 4 or 5 of them. This looks like a symbolic post to me. Why else would Tom Hanks stop and take a picture of a glove on the side of the road? I don't understand. Unless, of course, he means he's symbolically representing the fact that they're going to put Isaac Kappy through some kind of a Judas murder ritual, then it makes a lot of sense.
Well, it's his theme too, because he's I've seen other pictures of his, like a lot of his pictures are like an empty shoe that's abandoned on the side of the road without its.
Oh, so if we scroll through here, there's probably other
there's other
nonsensical
ones.
crap.
Yeah, there's a bunch of gloves that are single gloves.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is his. One of his things is to show abandoned clothing on the side of the street.
Yeah, like
this is
empty singles where there should be doubles. I don't know if that.
Yeah.
So people have been speculating for a while that Hanks is showing.
Well, this picture here.
Of abductions and things like that.
What the hell is this supposed to mean?
What?
Happy birthday, Mr. Rogers.
Oh, he played Mr. Rogers in a movie.
Oh, that's right. Well, this is just a weird-ass picture. A crocheted figure without a real face wearing what looks like a little bunny glove out the window of Vegas
this
or
is a
something.
bunny glove, isn't it?
Have you seen this picture, Tracy? Is it up on your
Nope,
screen?
this is new to me. He looks like a Q-tip.
Looks like a voodoo doll.
Q-tip.
Yeah, Q-tip. Exactly. When you said that, that's what I thought. And this looks like Vegas to me. I don't know if it is for sure. That just...
Wasn't that the Golden Gate Bridge, though?
No.
It's a yellow.
No?
It looks
Right,
European to me.
Well, let's just keep scrolling Tom Hanks a little farther here. Oh, yeah. Here we go.
Land of Enchantment.
Here's a shoe or a...
Is it a...
It looks like a...
What is it?
Is it a hat?
What does the word say?
Oh, this row it says, Land of Enchantment and Lost Gloves. Hanks.
Hey! There's a lost glove.
Yeah, Tom Hanks, you got some splaining to do.
This glove, the glove that made me famous, is that what it said?
This one? The glove that made Milwaukee famous?
Oh, yeah. Huh.
Everyone's heard about that.
Oh, yeah,
right?
I get it.
What?
No, is it?
I never hear this stuff. You guys have to let me know.
No, we're joking.
We're just... this is that picture show humor. Plus Ultra Club picture show humor is dry and sometimes slightly dark, folks. Yeah, this goes on and on. It looks like this is all he posts.
What did that one say? Sock, glove,
lost, abandoned. So many questions.
Hanks. It's like he's saying thanks, but in like a hanky sort of...
I wonder if that's how he signs his signature.
Yeah.
I wonder if it...
Well, look, he's... It's important that he plays the symbologist in the movies, right? You got to keep that in mind when...
Right, he's the avatar that tells us what things mean, right? That's why you cursed him for being that role. Like, fuck off, Tom, with your bullshit.
A little girl.
A little girl's pink shoe on a couch in front of a fire hydrant.
That couch is going to get towed, he says. Ugh.
I've resisted the urge. I remember at the time when Da Vinci Code came out, and it pissed me off because I was doing Daggerbird's Revenge at the time, and nobody was talking about that stuff back then. They had in the 80s when Holy Blood, Holy Grail came out, but nobody was talking about it in the late 90s when I started Daggerbird's Revenge. But when Da Vinci Code came out, I was like, oh, they're ripping me off. But then I couldn't say that, I couldn't prove it. But here's the thing. My husband, Brian Albert, who's dead now, but he was my husband back then and helped me do Daggerbird's Revenge. He used to wear a Mickey Mouse watch. And I had even written about that fact in public. So I'm calling him out. You're trying to jack my memes here,
Did Tom Hanks wear a Mickey Mouse watch in the movie?
This whole thing, yeah. Robert Langdon's one of his character traits is he has a Mickey Mouse watch.
Oh my gosh.
Well, yeah, and the thing is, I don't think you're wrong, Tracy. I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think they...
It parallels your work.
Yeah, they could read this one. This glove here, it says, my car, yes, but I ran over no one. Hanks.
Weird.
What does that say about having an empty glove? Are these...
I don't understand it. Why why is Tom Hanks wandering up to where so many lost socks and gloves are?
I don't know if he walks around on the street that much, but when I walk around on the street, I rarely see abandoned gloves and shoes. Maybe I don't travel enough, but it kind of seems like maybe some of these things are being placed there.
Well, he mentioned the way that he described the terrible thing. It sounded like he had posted something somewhere in public. If you go through that whole hour-long video of the confession, it eventually comes out that it's something digital. He talks about trying to undo it, but it was already done. And then, like, within a few seconds, really, of doing it, he realized that it was a bad thing. So,
do you think he named
yeah,
somebody? Do you think he named somebody that was he was working with? Or that
it sounds to me like just in the process of dangling carrots about what he had to reveal, he revealed something that was too informative, that I'm guessing, because he talked also about endangering other people and how he felt guilty about doing that. I'm guessing that he got some information from someone else, told him in confidence. He ended up accidentally bragging about it or dropping it into some other tweet or something, and then realized, oh, that gives them exactly the information they need to know who gave that information to me, and I just fucked it up.
Yeah,
that's what I thought.
Do you think that was the person that was with him just off camera or driving the car in those videos?
Yeah, that missing video idea, that's interesting. It shows that he was definitely with someone. Very obvious in the footage that he's not alone. The way he's managing the pet and his eyes is not just two dogs or something. He's acting like there's a person there.
Yes, and then he's concerned about the dogs, for one thing, barking too much, and also it sounds like someone's there kind of trying to quiet them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when they get quieted, he seems concerned, like as though they might be being too harsh when they're trying to quiet the dogs.
Wow.
Just like he's worried in general about what's happening to the dogs. Also, the dogs could be a signal of just someone approaching the house, maybe even the people that own the house, or who knows, someone coming. You can tell he's concerned. Kind of like I am, when I'm on this show and I can tell my son's coming to the room or someone's about to walk in. I'm like, okay. You can see him doing that throughout the video, but yet he claims he's alone in the house. And there's just no way from the evidence of watching the video that there is someone else there for sure. And then, so if there's this third video, that's something that I haven't seen yet. So video of him driving around after the confession, that's new to me, and I would love to see that.
And why would you go out of your way to say you're alone in the house? If you're alone in the house, I mean, unless somebody was like, "Don't let anybody know that I'm here."
Because they were asking. Because people in Periscope were asking, "Is someone forcing you to do this?"
Oh,
it was a live Periscope, and people kept saying, "Are you being forced to do this? Are you under duress? Is someone else there?" And reportedly, there was even someone who said, blink twice if you're under duress.
And he did
at that exact moment.
Exactly, and he did.
Oh, wow.
I kind of think there was someone else there during the Periscope, and then apparently this other one that I haven't even seen yet. I mean, this whole thing has really been cleaned up.
Yeah.
Anyway, I know we're about to go. Sorry.
Yeah, we're at